Dear Mr. President, this is Word or Two, and today our focus is on education. Now, you could folks are asking what happened to Purity Ngirishi. She sends her apologies, I'm sending them after she has sent them. We'll probably have a conversation with her tomorrow. So may the day break, kachifo, as we say. Let's see what happens then with her. But our Dear Mr. President conversation was scheduled for this hour, and we're going to have it. As we do every Monday, there are issues that need to be brought. So, Dear Mr. President, it's not about those who may want to join you in the hallowed halls of policy, but it's about those who are in the halls where this is actually lived out. That who are the ones who have the experience on a daily basis. And we're not just talking about the primary stakeholders, in this case, who are the children, the learners, but we're talking about those who send them to school, their parents. We're talking about those who teach them, teachers, guardians, guidance counselors, head teachers, deputy principals across board, that those who are facing this situation are not facing one that is all pretty. Dear Mr. President, allow me to share a number with you. 151,000. Let that number be in your mind for a minute. Let me share another number with you. Second. And let me share yet another number with you. Sixth. And seventh. So let's start with 151,000, shall we, dear Mr. President? This is the number of grade 10. I'm not even talking about anybody else. This is the number of grade 10 students around the country who either failed to show up or who have dropped out of school in the last one term. I did not say 1 year, I said one term. This is not the Situation Room with this number. This comes from your CS in the Ministry of Education, dear Mr. President, who told us that they were a bit worried about the fact that these children have not gone to school. This is from their records. They've told us this. The other number that I gave you was second. That's the term that we're currently in. So that means already they've been out of school for 1 term and 3 weeks. Schools opened again for learning on the 28th of April. So 3 weeks, they've been back in school, and still this 151,000, interestingly enough, whittled down from over 800,000 when we were still dealing with who was going where and who was studying what. So that is where we are. The other number I gave you, dear Mr. President, was 6th and 7th. So this is the 6th year for many, the 7th for some, of being in this education system where they don't know if they're coming or going. These are grade 10 students who started off, and we keep repeating that hopefully one day it'll sink, who started off as the pioneer class of this new curriculum. They started off in 2019 as students, learners in grade 3. They are currently in their 7th year, 2026, as grade 10 students. There are certain subsets of pathways that the books for those subsets have not been delivered to school. Now, that may shock you, but let me tell you the bigger shocker. We are in May. In June, for grade 10, there is a Kenya National Examinations Council assessment for grade 10. Now, I told you before that I'm spiritual, but I don't believe in magic. I want to understand how these students are going to get the knowledge and information to then sit this assessment in the subsets where books don't exist. I really want to understand. Now, I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill STEM, not run-of-the-mill. I'm not talking about STEM. I'm not talking about some humanities for which courses are. I'm talking about these pathways where you insisted, where the ministry said, these are the pathways that we've come up with. You'll then be able to study across board. If the subject material does not exist, how do we plan on assessing the competency of these learners. Remember, it is a competency-based education. If the subject material doesn't exist, how do we assess the competency, which is the peg of this curriculum?
Okay, Hindu.
Yeah.
You know, for a very long time, it's been said that we come here to only present the dark side of life. But if that is what it will take for the education sector to work, if that's what it will take for sense to finally land in people's heads and minds and believe in the sector, ni sawa. Because here we're talking about 702.7 billion shillings that has been given to the education sector. Yet capitation still remains being a problem. I'm going to give you a lived experience. Last week on Friday, I had students in studio with me from different schools, actually. One school was from deep in Mount Kenya. Another school was somewhere in Kiambu. And because they came, they asked questions. And after that, I asked them a simple questions. They were grade 10s. And I asked, did you guys get textbooks? Did you guys get textbooks? And they said no. I saw the cabinet secretary not the cabinet secretary, the PS education was in a certain education forum in western part of the country. And there's a student who actually told the cabinet secretary, I am a student doing aeronautics, right? And in my class of around 50 something, we only have 4 textbooks. How do you gauge my performance if the government of Kenya, if the Ministry of Education has not given me materials that will enable me to achieve that which I selected, I qualified for, but the ministry has let me down? Is it a concern to you, Bwana PS? I remember, to you, Bwana PS, that we are in second term. I'm about to sit my exams, but I do not have books that will assist the teachers to train me, will assist me to pass and achieve my dreams. This is a story of students of this republic. I'm telling you, I was not even having a conversation with teachers. Walimu, you go separate. That's a different problem altogether. But these are the students who go through this curriculum on a daily basis. So, if we have to paint it negative and black for us to finally see the light shine through it, then we must, and yes, we shall. The numbers that you talk about, the 150,000 who have not been able to go to school. The cabinet secretary told us that 100% transition to school is a reality, that they would go door to door. Chiefs will go house to house. Ngaf will ensure that this happens. If we have over 150,000 children who have not gone to school, then please tell me how we are implementing the constitution that has given every child in this country the right to affordable and quality education. Because that speaks clearly to a government or a society that is living by the rule of law and implementing that which they have sworn to protect and uphold.
Dear Mr. President, if you rely on the people around you to tell you what's going on, I'm going to go out on a limb here this morning. They're not telling you the truth. Dear Mr. President, it is not true. And it makes you look a certain type of way when you tell us that you fixed education. And if you say this on the back of the information that you are given, they're making you look bad. They're not telling you the truth. Whereas we will have students who will go back to school at the beginning of the term. They'll have activities, they'll come out, they'll sit exams and CATs, and they'll come out on the end of it and go back to school in the second term. There is a lot that is missing. And if there's something that's missing, it paints a picture about the entire program. There has to be something done about some of these issues. Even if it's one thing, take one thing and fix it. How about we have books before the terms begin?
Yeah.
Just do one thing. Let's not even deal with dealing with the development. Don't even build on the dining hall. Don't do these. Before we even move to make sure that the teachers, who by the way are crying, and they're talking today about saying, excuse me, I'm still an intern. Leave alone all these political stories that you're telling out there. 44,000 of us are still interns. We're looking for permanent and pensionable, because you know what it does? It makes me the lackey of the system. That I am a history teacher, but then you're going to make me teach math tomorrow because whomever is not there. The reality of the situation is that you have a Form 4 leaver who is handling a school, and the director of education who is drawing a salary from the ministry every month is saying, it's okay, you carry on doing your business over there and we'll sort it out later. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about people who cannot afford an extra shilling to go back to school, but they're being asked to bring many things. I know, I'm even going to go out on a further limb here and say, I know you want it to work. But it's not. And if there's a kink in the armor, the soldier is compromised.
Yeah.
There's a kink in this armor. This soldier is definitely compromised. True. Your CS doesn't know how much it costs for a child in Kenya today to go to school from ECDC to varsity. Does not know. If that is the case, and again, I didn't go to sleep on a Sunday night and wake up in the morning and started doing magic in my head. These are words that came out of his mouth. They don't know the unit cost of education in this country today. So if you don't know the cost, how are you applying capitation? How are you arriving at this is the 22,000 that we're going to give? If you don't know how much it costs, is it possible that you're giving more? Further to that, you last week told us about ghost schools, dear Mr. President. You told us that, you see these people who are bringing ghost schools. Who? It's the Ministry of Education. You cannot walk into Jogo House today and say, excuse me, can I take a look at your system?
Can I register school?
No. It's your people in the ministry who are doing this. Ghost students, ghost schools, the money that you should be sending for capitation ends up in somebody's bank account. This is happening under your government. These are happening under the Ministry of Education, who are telling you that education has been fixed. I'm telling you it hasn't. At the very least, can the skeleton and all the bones even be present before we even start talking about putting flesh and blood on the thing? There's a problem. Dear Mr. President, there's a problem. But don't take it from me. Let people tell you if everything is okay as far as they're concerned. Then if they say so, then we can move on. 07. Hey, what's that number? I've even forgotten the number. 0732 142 650 0732 142 653. Call us today. Are we looking at a situation where it's been fixed and we are going through this thing properly? If not, now is the time for you to have your say. Dear Mr. President, he's listening. Well, he might be a little bit busy today with Macron, but somebody's listening and they'll send him the message.
Ndu, a king is a king through the people. Mr. President, the people gave you an opportunity for you to deliver to them, and education was one of the key aspects of it. The president came and said that he's built over thousands of classes. He's employed over 20,000 teachers. It's good, Mr. President. Sawa, we'll give credence where it's due. But is it enough, Mr. President? Are we seeing that today we have enough teachers to deal with the number of students that we see today? Are we here to say that all the classes that have been built across the country is enough for the number of children who are in these classes? Mr. President, we will say, fine, you've built, and thank you for that. But Mr. President, if it's not enough, we're going to tell you. If there's a problem, we're going to tell you. If there is a problem with capitation, we're going to tell you. If teachers are complaining, we're going to tell you. If we do not have laboratories in schools, we're going to tell you, Mr. President. And it is not that we're telling you from a bad place. It's because we want to help you make it work.
It's from a bad place, so Uncle Dennis, it's from a bad place. I beg. It's from a bad place because what?
Because I can tell you what to do. I come from a place where I'm telling the president all these things so that he can fix them and so that it can work. Okay, it's coming from a bad place, but I mean well.
I get your point. Yes. But then sometimes I sit here and I say, okay, am I being too judgmental? And am I sitting from a place where it's easy to pontificate about some of these things? Or is it just a lot of work and that the folks who are sitting there are actually not able to do it? is it possible that there's too much of a demand? And that's why the thing can't be done. We can't print books on time because we don't have the money. We don't have the money because we're too busy doing something else. We don't have enough capacity. We don't have are we putting are we putting too much responsibility on a system that doesn't have the capacity to make this thing happen? Because maybe it's about time we started asking some real questions here, that we've had an issue for way too long. So maybe you're putting too much responsibility on a system that doesn't have the capacity to deal with some of these issues. Maybe.
Mwai Kibaki got to power and said, let there be free education, and there was free education. Was that magic? No. We saw it happened. It starts from the top. If we have goodwill to have all these things work, it will work. I only ask the question, if we have seen that happen in this country, why aren't we seeing the same push happening today? Because we talk about capitation. You tell us there's capitation that has gone to schools, but numbers don't lie. Numbers tell a different story. So how then is it that the head of state will tell us that it is working when numbers that have been given by a government agency that he is leading is telling a different story? Unless he's consuming numbers that come from the moon or the stars. Because what you're consuming that his government is giving us is completely different.
0732 142 650 0732 142 653. There was something that people used to say, Elimu Bora, or in this case, it just seems to be Bora Elimu. We've passed them through the conveyor belt. Okay, we need to do an exam, we need to do KCSE. Next year, tunamalizana na KCSE. We finish with 844, then we move. Is it like we just need to, let's empty the thing. Let's get people moving, and then we are done. Let
me just corrugate even worse for you, right? Do you know the government of Kenya today has told you it does not know how your child will go through the entire education system to tertiary? That you as a parent, ujipange. The government of Kenya, sisi hatujui, mwachane na sisi. Mtadu?
We're taking your calls this morning. Talk to us. It could be that it's our opinion this morning, but let's hear from you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very fine.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Philip calling from Nakuru.
Yes, Philip, can you please turn down the volume on your radio?
Let me go outside first. Let me just move away from there. You know, there is a problem. Kenya, we have a problem. You know, the education of Kenya is very poor, but capitation, there is no capitation, and the president is saying capitation is there. So we have problems.
You take issue with the capitation problem here. If it comes late, or some cases it does not come.
Capitation, some of us, as I was a driver, I worked, I was not paid. We go to these labor offices.
You worked for a school?
Not paid. Yeah.
You worked for a school, okay.
Yeah. Sasa kama wengi kama sisi ni madriver tulifanyia kazi kutengeneza barabara na tulipu. Tukienda kuitisha hata kazi kwa barabara hapo unaambiwa wewe huwezi kupewa. Wewe sijui ni nini mlengo fulani. You see? Sasa some of us hata wengine hatukulipwa pesa mahali tulifanya, tumekuwa na depression, watoto wamekuwa nje wenyewe walifanya mtihani. Wengine hatujui kama watafika, kama wangu sijui kama ataenda wapi. University na alipita vizuri. Sasa sina pesa hata.
Hauna pesa kuwatuma shule. That's what we're talking about now.
Yeah. Kama sasa wangu walipata B. Sasa nataka kujoin university. There is no money. Sina kazi. Mahali nilifanya sikulipwa, sijalipwa, sasa niko na stress na depression mingi. Hii serikali inatusumbua kweli.
I hear what you're saying, Philip. Of course, you know, it's a tough situation. Sometimes the answers are not forthcoming at the moment, but sharing your experience, thank you for contributing to this morning, Philip.
Thank you.
Some of the stuff is so tough. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Ndu.
How are you doing?
Fine, I'm Ali from Mombasa.
Yes, Ali from us. How are you doing?
Fine, and you? Long time.
Very long time. Unaenda kujificha wapi?
Niko na wasikiliza tu, sijapata nafasi ya kuchangia, but leo nimepata.
Nashukuru Mungu. Karibu.
Asante. Na tuko katika mada ya CBE curriculum, inaitwa Competency Based Education Curriculum, ndio?
Yes.
Kitu cha kunishangaza ni wakati mwingine sisi tunaingia kwenye majukumu wakati hatujaweka miundombinu ama msingi wa lile jambo tunalotaka kulifanya. Kwa mfano, kwenye hii curriculum ya CBE sijaiona teaching curriculum yao wala model of teaching. Yani,
okay, I think we may have lost you, Ali. If you can, just try and call us back. Hello, good morning. Hello? Okay, I think we've just lost that. We're taking your calls this morning. We'd love to get Ali back on that to continue. The state of education, dear Mr. President, is what we're talking about this morning. 0732-142-653, 0732-142-650. We do want to hear from you this morning in terms of what's going on in your neck of the woods, for us to then be able to get an understanding of where we all are concerning this. More of your calls coming in today. I mean, I think about a gentleman, so we were talking about the state. Another situation has depressed his current state of things, so he's then not able to send his children to school. So either way, all of that then comes and finds a way to play in all of that. Yikes. I don't know. No, I do know that the solution is the situation not going to be fixed today. But that there are steps that can be taken today to have the situation fixed moving into the long term. And that is what we need to be looking at. And so where are your policy makers? Where are your policy implementers? Where are those who are insisting that...
They're not showing up.
Okay.
They are not showing up because this is the actual purpose for all these policy implementers to look at CBE. How much do we need for us to implement this thing for what it should be? You know, but if we have individuals who do not show up in Parliament, we are fighting to just to get quorum, to get quorum for these things to move. That's where the problem is at, man. Let's call it for what it is, because if cabinet secretaries are showing up and individuals are not there to put them to task to ensure that these queries are actually answered, let's not even talk about the out and kasirisha zaidi. No, because they're not showing up. It is not us, it is the Hansard that is speaking.
Yeah. Talk to us about what it is that you experience where you are. 0732-142-653, 0732-142-650. And we're saying, okay, this is what we see. These are the numbers that are actually coming from the Ministry of Education. I'm wondering, when they say things to us, they tell us that this is what's happening. Oh, we can't guarantee this, that, the other thing. Is it in a time warp, or is it? Do they not say the same thing to the president as an extension of the executive? Because that's what cabinet ministers do.
As the leader of executive.
Exactly, because they sit in meetings and they say, this is how we are going to execute policy in the country. Do they not tell him? Do they tell us one thing and tell him something else? I don't know. We're hearing from you this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes.
That is KTN.
This is. What's your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kasarani.
You're calling from?
Kasarani.
Kasarani. What's your name, sir?
Simon.
Yes, Simon. Please tell us what your thoughts are around education. All good?
I don't know where they take the money in Kenya. I don't know. What happens with budgeting and all that? Why is it that they don't have money for our children? What's the problem?
Well, they budget for it to the tune of 700 and so billion shillings.
And how do you account for that?
I don't know.
We would want to know. Maybe we should hear from Ogamba, Minister of the Education. What he does with that money.
These are questions, and those are the things that we're actually asking this morning.
We should not go darling about the issue of that money. Nobody should be speaking of saying there is no money in Kenya. I think that is very bad. If you keep talking of such kind of things, and not good. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Simon. And I guess these are the pertinent questions that we're asking this morning. So where does the money go? Who's having conversations about things that need to happen? Oh, by the way, I just thought I would remind you, just in case you forgot, that there were ghost schools, in the system somewhere. There were ghost students, boo. And they told us that people had been named or whatever, that they were going to be, I don't know, what was going to happen to them. Were they going to be suspended? Was something going to be done? And, they were going to ask them, I don't know if they were going to have a question and say, did you put a go? And then they were supposed to say, no, I did, or yes, I did not. What happened to those people? I'm asking. But in the meantime, let's take a call while you ponder on thus. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling in from.
Yes, my name is Andai Omwakwe.
Yes, Andai. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Vihiga.
Yes, talk to us.
Madam Du, the way the situation is now in the country, and as much as education is concerned, we are completely headed in the wrong direction. The education system is being ruined by our leaders, and more so, our president. Our president has gone to school, he has a doctorate degree.
Yes.
But what I'm wondering, and what disturbs me, is that why is it that he doesn't want our children to learn and get good education? A country that does not take care of its education system is a country that is likely to go to ruins. And this is a perfection of what most leaders, and especially during the Moi regime and the president's regime, if you want to make people poor, you will make sure that their children don't go to school. So that, and those are tricks that I don't know why most Kenyans are not seeing this. The president wants to make sure that our children don't go to school so that he has a populace of people who are not informed, so that he can keep on sitting on them, he can keep on messing them, and he can just keep on doing the way he wants. But Dennis, I'm happy to see Dennis there. I've missed him for quite some time. It is so sad that the president is doing this, and yet we have a lot of corruption in this country. Madam Du, I don't know whether Kenyans know what a billion is. A billion is a lot of money.
It is.
So when you hear that we have lost 11 billion in the health sector, we have lost these billions. Now it is not hundreds. Now Kenyans have graduated into corruption of billions. But because most of us don't know what a billion is, we just take it like it is pocket change. But I would like to state this, Madam Du, just give me 1 minute or so.
Okay.
That the writing is on the wall, and I'm not ashamed, and I'm not shy from saying Ruto is just one term because of what he has done, he's doing in our education sector. Look at the JSSS teachers. Madam Du, honestly, before God in heaven, can one survive on 17,000 shillings?
Tough.
Can it be possible for these teachers? Why is he frustrating our teachers? Why is he making our teachers become like beggars? Why is he doing this to Kenyans? That is the question I'm posing to our dear Mr. President. It is very...
Okay. I mean, we're getting a lot out of Benson at that moment. I think that, again, we've had a disconnection on our line, and hopefully we can get those thoughts coming back in, because here we are. And, Benson's taken it a little further and said, you know what? If this doesn't work, what you're actually showing us is that you don't want us to be educated. And an uneducated populace is a weakened populace, and a populace over which you can wield a certain level of control. And I've seen some of those comments this morning, that if you don't empower the people of this country with an education, essentially what you're doing is keeping people uninformed so that you can control them. It doesn't sound anything different from what a lot of jurisdictions have done. If you keep people in a state of beg, what you've done is that you've taken the power from them. This is what we're talking about today. I mean, and that's where Andai has taken it this morning. We're going to hear from a couple more of you even as we continue with this, because yikes, the thing is that if you are overseeing a situation whereby excellence is not achieved, whereby you have so many bumps along the road, where you're not dealing with the situation, then can be curated into one that will actually yield results, then you could just as well as be saying very openly, I don't want it to work.
Do.
Yes.
You've actually raised something that is very critical, that if we run over a system where excellence does not want to be achieved, I ask my question, do we ever pause as a government, as a ministry, to ask, if we want these children to succeed, to be excellent in what it is they deliver, how excellent are we in delivering to them so that they can be able to perform? Is excellence part and parcel of our deliverables in the ministry, in the government of Kenya? Or is it a preserve for others? Sisi, we can do as we wish.
As we wish. Those are questions, and we're hearing from folks this morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning to you. How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm George Arianda. I'm calling from Langata.
Yes, George, please talk to us. Dear Mr. President, we're talking about education this morning.
Mi ningetaka kusema, surely sometimes even not the government, not the president, even legislatures wetu kama watu ambaye wabunge ambao tumewachagua na senators, let them put this thing into place. Washughulikie wananchi, sio kupiga siasa. Juu wakiwa pale wazungumuzie swala hili, watasukuma na hii kitu itafaulu. Hata hiyo au senate kuwauliza ni nini nafanywa kuhusu inafaa watu wanawaitanga kama minister CSS, wanawaita katika ofisi kuzungumzia maswali ambazo wanaulizwa. Hawahusiki na zile vitu ambazo zinasaidia umma.
Kweli.
Inakuanga tu kuwauliza, lakini after all nini sasa wakiwa pale wanazungumzia kusaidia mwananchi? Shida ya Kenya, surely even not the president, shida ya Kenya ni wale ambao tumewachagua katika grassroots, kama wabunge, kama county government. Hao watu ndio wakilishi, hao ndio representatives wetu wa chini, lakini hawaangalii vile mwananchi anafaa kukua.
Kweli.
So mimi ningewaomba hawa representatives wabunge na hao MCAs washughulikie, wasukume the government, because sisi hata tukiongea huku chini sauti yetu haisikiki. Hao wako hapo sauti yao inasikika, lakini after all ni politics after politics. Hawaangalii, hao ndio watu ambao tuko nao karibu. Watushughulikie, wajue kama ukienda hata shule, hata walimu saa zingine they are too much. Inakuwa pesa after pesa, wanafunzi wanafukuzwa. Hata walimu wanafaa kujua kwamba kweli Kenya iko hivi, lakini walimu utapata wanazungumzia serikali ya juu, na hata walimu wenyewe pesa imeongezwa ile too much.
Kweli,
sio ile fee ambao inafaa watu wamejua. Fee imeongezwa ile too much. Bila hiyo fee hata kuna chenye inafanyika shuleni, mtoto anafukuzwa kila wakati. Na wao wenye wanaturepresent wanafaa washughulikie masuala kama hizi.
Kabisa. Kila mtu afanye kazi yake. Ndio tunasema sahi.
Okay.
Kabisa. Thank you very much for calling in, John. Okay, we're taking more of your calls this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Daniel Juma.
Yes, Daniel. Where are you this morning?
I'm calling from I'm in Nairobi.
Okay.
From the Global Peace Foundation.
All right. Please tell us what your thoughts around this.
Yeah, so the education is not just this president, who should be blamed, but this is, say, the CBA it was transitioned during the previous president.
Indeed.
And, to give it to President Ruto, he's tried to make it work.
Okay.
So for me, if you look at the problems we have, and look at the issue of ghost students, for example. Mm-hmm. Ghost students, where government was losing billions in ghost students. How come that until today, previous CSS and previous PSS have not been taken to task, because you can't tell me you can be sitting in an office and you are the accounting officer and government is giving capitation to schools which are not there in terms of billions. And this has been happening in the previous administration.
Yes, it has.
So we need to have an honest conversation about education, if we are really serious about education. And also, in this era of digitization, I think, if we really serious about digitizing, students' enrollment, I think we should not be having this problem of ghost students and ghost schools in this era, honestly. This is something that we really need to look at. But where I am, we have been working, to ensure that we transform education. We have been having several conversations about transforming education. And in this era, as you know, this education system that we have is a colonial legacy brought to us by the colonialists, and we as Africans, we must ensure that we make education work for us as an African. As we're talking today, if you go to the West, the people who brought us this education, they rarely even look at when they're hiring, they look at the degree certificate last. They don't ask for it in the beginning. Big companies like Fortune 500 companies, they're hiring, they're looking for things like character, relations and all this. Yeah. But as we're still focused on exams, and I remember when CB came, one of the things we wanted to get rid of was the competition in terms of judging students based on one examination. That a student comes, does an exam, and then because maybe he was sick during this examination, then he's a failure. You get my point? So CBE was meant to be able to sort this. But we have seen, we have seen attempts to try and plow back, get us back to the rating, exam rating. And this will take us back again to the ages. So I think all of us, it's not just about government. Everybody, every parent, I am a parent. Every parent, everybody must be concerned about what's happening in our schools.
Absolutely.
And also, let me say something about the various, of course, systems that we have in Kenya. Of course, we have the CBE, and then we also have the IGCSE. IGCSE, most of the children of, most of these people, even in government, the kids are going IGCSE. But we have seen of late, there have been efforts to even try, government is trying to go into IGCSE and demand that, for example, if your kid has done grade 11, usually, grade 11 was synonymous to all levels. But now there is a collusion with IGCSE, schools to ensure, to force, students who have gone through grade 11 to also have to go through grade 12 and grade 13. So right now, if you want to be able to, you go to Kenko to be able to, to qualify, to equate. They will not do it. They're saying that, we'll only equate after they're done with grade 12. And this thing is very expensive. Parents are paying millions in terms of grade 12 and grade 13. So it's a big problem, but I think I thank you guys for putting a spotlight on this. I think we need to work together and solve this problem.
Indeed, definitely we need to. And I want to thank you for your call this morning. A lot of things then to be able to highlight and say that they can't be hidden in the dark. We appreciate you contributing to this conversation and, of course, the work that's being done to ensure that, another 10 years doesn't go to the dust. Asante sana.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear from some others of you this morning as we're winding down on this conversation this morning. 0732-142-653 or 0732-142-650. The state of education is what we're looking into this morning. Dear Mr. President, as a person who, sits in leadership over this, the people are crying. Yep. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Chris from Kisumu.
Yes, Chris, talk to us. What are your thoughts around education today?
In education sector, what I would have suggested, if he could be having learned friends who can go and have a vote of no confidence with the president, because he doesn't consider being education system. He's a businessman.
So what we're saying is that he doesn't consider it at all. So if you don't consider something, you can't work on it.
Nope.
So if he could if he could be impeached, so that we can have somebody who can take care of our children, because the mental education of our children is all evacuated.
I hear you. Chris, thank you very much for your call this morning. I mean, to say that if you're not interested in it, we can't expect you to fix it. All right. Thanks for that. We'll take a couple more calls this morning. Chris, thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Kwa majina naomba kuongea kwa lugha ya Kiswahili.
Hakuna shida, naomba tafadhali uongeze sauti.
Kwa majina naitwa Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, unapiga kutoka wapi?
Mwatate, Taveta.
Taveta, haya, tuambie.
Sasa unaona kama huku kwetu mmekuwa na shida ya watoto wanachoma shule. We don't know what the problem take. Kuna shule kadhaa zimechomeka na tunashindwa nini inaendelea. So we are asking the teachers, please, can you talk to the students? Before saying nikuambie mtoto wako form 4 amevitu zote chomeka, the tax is so high, mzazi ana pesa. So what are we going to do?
Watoto ndio wanachoma shule?
Yeah, the school are banned.
Juya?
But unfortunately, hatujapata kama kuna mtoto amechomeka, but shule dorm zimechomeka. So some students are at home, mzazi hauna pesa, school fees ni kung'ang'ana.
Na hii ilifanyika lini?
It was last week.
Last week? One school?
Yeah. No, several schools.
Several schools in Taveta?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, please, kani walimu wasiongee na wanafunzi wajue what's the problem. They are close to the exams, alafu wamesoma shule, and they are struggling kuwatafutia school fees.
Okay. Elizabeth, asante sana for calling in this morning. Okay, Sante sister. My goodness, if it's not one thing, it's another, and it just keeps going and going. Okay.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Let's take a couple more this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
My name is Kennedy. I'm calling from Nairobi.
Yes, Kennedy. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine.
Talk to us.
But in terms of education, I don't think it's fine at all.
Okay, why?
I have a kid in, I think, this lower grades. And if we find that there is no competition sent in schools, they're being chased every now and then.
In the school where your child is?
Yeah. They're being sent away every time and then. The head teacher doesn't want to see children in school. Huwezi enda kumtetea. And then you find that the head teachers are adding school fees, everything. Then every term, then you find that biashara pia imeharibika, because I work in the transport industry.
Okay.
After sasa imeongezwa, I work with this online on digital taxis apps. Sasa after the fuel has gone up, the digital taxis have not even adjusted the fare.
Yeah.
So you find even at this day and time, even this morning, nimebeba 140 shillings. And then now that 140 you pay insurance, you pay school fees. I think the government needs to at least ionele mali itatukulia. Kama ni education ipandishe, hiyo kama itapandisha hiyo side. Kama ni mafuta itupandishie, it needs to find a balance, because sisi wananchi tunaumia. And now the worst thing is you can unaumia and there's nothing you are very helpless.
Yeah.
I hope President Ruto doesn't ever reach a place like that. You are so desperate to find a solution and you can't. Yeah.
I hear you, brother. Kennedy, we hope, right now to have this conversation, we can hope. But one of the most important things that we must do is that we cannot keep quiet about some of these things. We have to speak about them. And so folks say that in the desperation, your voice cannot be silenced.
Yes.
Kennedy, thank you very much. Asante sana. Let's take the final call for this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ndu and your co-host.
Good morning.
Can I just talk to our president and tell him that we, as his subjects, are intelligent enough to know a system that is working and that is which is not working. They are in a public relationship exercise trying to tell us education is working, while we are the ones, we are the parents, and we know it's not working. Mr. President, you are a product of a system that used to work. You and your ministers and government workers. Now, when you try to explain that education is working, while you are not meeting the capitation meant for our schools, you are doing us wrong. When you and your government always say pesa ya capitation kesho itakuwa huko, kama haitakuwa nipigieni simu. You are not giving us your phone number or the number to call when you are trying to tell us as your subjects to call when you're not remitting the capitation. Number 3, I would like to say this. As a subject, as you are wananchi, the thing that is really paining me is that we are now becoming people who are now not hatukasiriki ya kutosha. Unapokudanganya, wewe na serikali yako mnapo tufinya na tunakubali, tunasema ni kawaida. We as wananchi should now become very, very angry, and we take action either by going to the streets or something like that. You even make us suspect that Makoha's death was not natural, because Makoha, the Minister for Education, the then Minister for Education, was really working. Every morning he's in a school, in another place, that ensuring things are going on. But nowadays, we are just being told, pesa za capitation zimetumwa, lakini hazifiki shule.
I hear you say.
Na yenye imetumwa ni ya miaka miwili iliyopita. Kwa hivyo madeni ya shule bado yako. When the headmasters increase fees, it's because they want the schools to work, because they are not being given money by the government. So, Mr. President, can you stop, you and your government, the public relationship, and make these systems work? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's what we end on this morning, because, there's the message.
Yes.
Can't be diluted. There it is, raw and undiluted. Dear Mr. President.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.